Rwanda is a poor, densely populated rural country with about 90% of population engaged primarily in subsistence agriculture. Mountain gorilla trekking is the leading tourist attraction and one of the key drivers of Rwanda's economy. The mountain gorillas are critically endangered, with only 900 remaining worldwide in the Virunga Conservation Area and the Bwindi Impenetrable National Park. Of those 900 gorillas, about 300 live in Rwanda's Volcanoes National Park. On our first trek, we visited the Isabakura family, and on our second day trek, we visited the Umubano family. Trekking to the gorillas starts at 7 a.m. with a safety briefing. You are advised to stay back a minimum of 7 meters from the gorillas, to be quiet, move slowly, and to avoid sudden movements. You are driven from the National Park headquarters to your starting point. From there, you hike through the farmers' fields to the National Park boundary. Then, you start your trek through the jungle, up the mountainside, to your assigned gorilla family. Imagine our excitement when we first spotted 2 wet gorillas staring back at us from the bamboo jungle. By the time we reached our family, they were huddled together from the rain, resting. There was not a lot of activity to photograph the first day. The bamboo was so thick that we received permission to approach the gorillas much closer than 7 meters. We had lots of time to observe their gentle, patient behavior as they groomed each other, cradled their young, and slept. Our hour passed much too quickly. We gathered with our porters and guides for a group photo before heading back down the mountain. Our second day trek was much easier than the first. We hiked through fairly flat farm fields of pyrethrum, daisies that produce a natural insecticide and one of Rwanda's major crops. This time we found the Umubano gorilla family waiting for us on the stone fence that marks the national park boundary. No hiking through the jungle was required. As we reached gorillas much earlier in the morning, they were more active than the previous day. We got to observe gorillas eating, the young playing and climbing in the trees, and a mother playing with her young. Permits to trek to the gorillas must be purchased months in advance. Our permits cost $750 per day per person. However, after we had purchased our permits, the fees were increased to $1,500 per person per day by the Rwanda government. The fees from the trekking permits are used by the government for gorilla and habitat conservation and shared with the communities adjacent to the park. With the increase in permit fees, the government also doubled the percentage of the fees paid to those communities from 5% to 10%. Over the last 12 years, more than 400 community projects have been completed from these revenues. The Umobano family has 2 younger silverback gorillas and the senior silverback, Charlie. This gave us lots of photo opportunities and time to test our nerves as gorillas strode towards us and right past us, close enough to touch, if it were allowed. It turned out that we are not supposed to approach closer than 7 meters, but the gorillas may approach us as close as they choose. When our hour with the Umobano family was up, one of the silverback gorillas got up on cue and led the family away from us. Just one last opportunity for a photo before we bid farewell to the park wardens who stay with the gorillas throughout the daylight hours for their protection. Then we headed back down through the farm fields with our porters and our guide.